Hey, what's up, y'all? It's popping this video. About to react to this video about Jamar. This is Joe Budden fires Rory and Mal from the podcast on air. Child, this is crazy. So the podcast is over. I definitely used to watch their podcast on YouTube a couple years ago. I would watch it when I got ready religiously, for a little bit. So this is surprising, but not too surprising because they clearly had some tension, especially Rory and Joe. Like it was some tension there, and I'm like, are y'all niggas friends or nah? Because I was uncomfortable sometimes, seeing them go back and forth. So clearly there was things brewing behind the scenes. But yeah, we're gonna get all the tea. Let's watch.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So what a crazy morning. Okay, I'm waking up to all these messages. I'm waking up to all these DMs. I'm waking up to all these Twitter mentions. And I have all these different people saying, yo, did you see what Joe Budden did? Yo, the Joe Budden podcast is over. Rory is done. He got fired. Mal got canned. And I was like, wow. Okay, I was shocked. Just last night, I was watching the Joe Budden interview that he did with Adam 22. I think it was about a 2-hour interview. I watched the whole thing. They didn't really talk about Rory or Mal at all. So I kind of just figured, they were trying to get the podcast back on track. I just figured that things had been good. These guys actually came back. You could tell there was still some awkward tension in the room. Joe was pretty much still saying, hey, y'all ain't shit, right to their face. And overall was a bad scene. I thought at that time, man, these guys should just walk away. But they have contractual obligations for one. And they want their piece of the pie as they hit that door. I'm telling you guys, lawsuits are brewing at this point. Friendships have been crushed, okay? Friendship is probably just out of the question. And this is about to get pretty ugly for all parties involved. But here's what Joe had to say about Rory. This is apparently from today's episode that has also apparently been pulled already. So here he is where he talks about how he's going to fire Rory.
Change the splits. Change the benchmarks. Hey, y'all go get a deal. And bring it back. I'll take less. Not much less. Not much less. But I'll take less if y'all source it. Hey, y'all go get the advertiser and the integration. Hey, we talk about these deals all the time. You bring it, you eat different. I bring it, I eat different.
So he's basically saying, if you're not going in the offices, breaking down the doors, you have no right to tell me how to do my deal here on the podcast that we run together. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think he does have a very good point. I'm just going to let him keep going on, and I'll give kind of my final thoughts on this situation because I do have some nuanced thoughts here for everybody involved.
You niggas ain't brought shit. Y'all take that fucking dark energy, that arrogance, and that entitlement somewhere else. PTSD. I say all of that to say, we gonna do this. Since Rory feels like he has so many options here. Somehow he still feels like he's running the show.
Watch this.
He still feels like he has choices and options. Rory, you are in breach of your contract, and from this point forward, you are fired.
Ooh.
And you're not welcome back.
Damn.
Does anybody in here have a problem that I'm the person that has to say that?
Crickets.
No. Mo, I'm the person that has to say that. The gall of you to think that you are observing the way that I am.
And I've recently found out, guys, after I was doing the initial recording, that Joe was literally saying this in an empty room with just him and Parks. Rory and Mal were not there to defend themselves, yet he was still talking to their chairs as if they were. This man has really lost his mind. I'm sorry, guys, but when do you ever see a real boss act like this? When do you ever see a real boss publicly implode in this way? You don't. All I know is that Joe got his shit off, okay? That is what he's been wanting to say for these last couple episodes while he had them still sitting there. I knew he was done, man. You could tell in his face. You could tell in just the awkwardness of the whole situation. Everyone was pretty done at that point. This is about to get really, really ugly, guys. And at the end of the day, guys, here's how I feel about that situation. So I can kind of see where everyone's coming from here. If you're Joe, you're like, hey, fuck you. I'm the talent. My name's on the podcast. This podcast is a direct representation of myself, so I should get the biggest cut. I should be the one getting the position. No one even knew who you were before me, and that's just the bottom line. You're always just kind of going to be an employee to me. And then from Rory and Maul's perspective, they probably see it like this. Hey, dude, I helped you build this up. 5 years ago when we started this, you weren't shit. You weren't pulling the same views. The podcast didn't have the same dynamic, and we rode with you while you went on all your crazy rants and probably burned a lot of bridges for us within the industry. But then once they left and Joe saw that he could kind of do the same thing with any two people, oh, his head got even like 50 times bigger. And that was pretty much it. You know, they pretty much wrote their own death note at that point. Because once Joe could finally confirm that information, oh, they were out of here, guys. It was only a matter of time. I just think it's really ironic that Joe is going to end up doing to these guys what the industry did to him over and over and over again. He went on there so many times saying that creators deserve their equal splits, they deserve their payment, talking about how he got bent over and fucked so many times. He always talked about the big bad white man, and then he goes and signs with the white man when he got the right deal and acts like they're best friends. At the end of the day, you fucked over your homies who rode for you when you were acting crazy as fuck. In my mind, that holds a lot of weight. If someone holds me down that hard, if someone is that much responsible for my success, oh, I'm gonna hook them up big time. You know, we're all gonna be eating out here. I'm gonna make sure you're okay. I'm going to make sure you have some input in the thing we created. Rory. But now he's taking on that whole corporate boss mindset. And I'm not surprised. You know, Joe is kind of an egomaniac. I knew something was up with the deal, man. I knew something was up with the money. And so it's looking like the JBP is officially over, at least as we knew it. And hey, salute to everyone involved, okay? They put on a great show. This was an amazing podcast for at least the last couple of years. So salute to them for being able to take it so far. I'm sure Joe will continue on, maybe with Ice and Ish, maybe with, you know, I don't know, Wayno. I'm really thinking that's like his dark horse. That's going to be the next person he brings in. Yeah, man, just a crazy time for podcasts. All these podcasts are breaking up, and it's weird, you know? It's like...
I need to know the figures, because if they were getting substantially less than him, then yeah, that's not okay. But if it was just like a little bit less, but they were on some like, whoa, it should be split 3 ways, why are you getting anything more than us, then, you know, that they might be doing a bit much. Because yeah, the whole reason why y'all were a thing, and even more podcasts, because people know Joe Budden. We didn't know y'all. So I agree with that. But I also agree that they built this podcast with him together. Like, it did grow much bigger with them involved. So they definitely contributed to it getting to, you know, where it is today, or where it was. But I do feel like Joe should get a little bit more than them. Because, again, when it started, the only reason why people were interested at all is because of Joe Budden. Nobody knew those two. So I think he should get a little bit more. That's why I need to know the figures to have a final opinion. Because, what, you know, were y'all getting a little bit less or a whole lot less? You know, I need to know. That would make a difference, in my opinion. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. He clearly gonna, you know, bring 2 other niggas on and try to do it with them. But, you know, I imagine people are not going to be happy with that, because they like the dynamics, you know, between the 3 of them. Rory, Mal, and Joe. So you bringing on 2 new people. People not going to like that. They don't like change. Maybe they'll get used to it and still fuck with his podcast. I don't know. But it's an unfortunate situation, you know, especially Mal. He been knowing Mal for like ever. Like, since he was like a teenager or some shit, right? I feel like he grew up with Mal, how they be talking. So it's unfortunate that you will let business just completely ruin y'all's relationship. All y'all, you know. But yeah, unfortunate situation. Y'all let me know what y'all thought, though. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one.